In the search for greater challenges, my journey has taken me back to take on a devious target. One more dangerous than any other. At the same time, the most elusive of them all. Mushrooms. Oh, and also a Yan Kutku, I guess. Welcome back, Classy Crew, to a Monster Hunter 1 journal update. Now, if you are new to this channel, at least in the last year, you might not know that I am occasionally playing Monster Hunter 1 from time to time, specifically 2 times in my entire life. A whole year ago, I decided to celebrate the new year by playing Monster Hunter 1, the PlayStation 2 version, and it was... But I eventually did overcome the great challenge that is a Velocidrome, and I put that game on the shelf saying one day it will come back. And now here we are starting another new year, and I figured it's time. I know there's a Yan Kutku waiting for me. I've heard about this Yan Kutku. Let's see if I can take this on, because at this point I am now a 2-year trained veteran. I know how to hunt things. Oh! So I was feeling pretty good with my offense because I got the latest sword and shield, which is, I think it's called the Serpent Bite. You'll see it's blue, so it's built from Velocidrome parts. My problem is my armor is almost non-existent. In fact, when I started the stream, I had a total defense of 8. The problem is the money in this game is so hard to come by. I started, I think, the stream with maybe 100 zennies. It takes 100 zennies to start a quest. And one of the major themes of this stream and the last Monster Hunter 1 is I'm constantly poor. And I've learned you have to change your mindset. You can't just grind your way through quest after quest to get the money in this game. You have to gather everything you can find. You go hit those mine pits. You go find that iron ore. You kill everything you can find so you can sell parts and parts so you can make money. So honestly, the first, I believe, 2 hours of the stream, I found the most optimal route to grind I have up to 3-star unlocked. And the best way to make money, in my opinion, was to do the mushroom quest. So doing the mushroom quest grants you, I believe, 300 zennies, but it's one where you got to go around and you cultivate special mushrooms. They need 7. So if you get 10, those 3 extra mushrooms give you an extra 120 so zennies. And then during that quest, you're going to kill some boars because they're guarding the mushrooms. So the boar pelts ideally give you more money. And then you want to mine any ore spot that you find to hopefully get iron ore. No, you don't want to sell your iron ore, but you want your earth. There's an earth type of rock. That's good stuff. You can sell that. And then there's a disc thing. When you get the disc fragment or something, that also sells pretty good. And then you also want to dig around in the poop to hopefully find a Yan Kutku scale, which sells for, I think, 250 zennies or so. So doing that run takes roughly, I would say, 10 minutes, and it nets you a consistent 500 zennies with no problem. So I was doing that, and each piece of armor costs 1500 zenny. Each piece of like the good armor, the best armor I could get at this point. So it's quite a grind. Now I did try fighting Velocidrome again because some people are saying just fight monsters, you're gonna get money faster. It took me a little bit more than 10 minutes to fight a Velocidrome, and I also made just under 500 zennies, and that route was a lot more stressful. So I opted for the mushroom route because it worked out to the same thing. And I have to say, this is something I believe there's 2 things the modern Monster Hunter games are missing. The first is this. When I was grinding for mushrooms, I wasn't bored. I was feeling so good because I knew I was doing this all in the preparation of a great hunt. And there was just something so peaceful, so methodic of learning the map of where are the mushrooms. There's not some big bright icon on my map that says, go here. I have to visibly see the mushroom and I have to gather. And in another place, I had to look at a pig and follow the pig. And I'm like, why is he sniffing at the ground there? What's in the ground? Oh, there's more mushrooms here. It was so much more immersive. And I think we all know this and talk about it, but let me just put it clear. Capcom, you need to bring back this grind, this, I hate saying it like that because that can go wrong in so many ways. You have to bring back this almost this farming thing. Like when you play Animal Crossing, when you grind in MMOs, when you play these kind of simple slice of life games, it's not an intense vibe actiony thing. You're enjoying yourself. And actually, I'm just thinking now, Persona 5 does this. You have the social aspect of the game where you just go around, you take tests, you make friends, and then you go into dungeons and you kill monsters and spirits and fight perverts. Like, the two can exist, and Monster Hunter started off with that, but slowly they have removed this kind of like, I don't even know the right word. It's not a grind, but it's a resource gathering. It's still there in the game, but it doesn't feel the same, and it is not as necessary. Like here, if you don't do that, I'm not getting to my Yan Kutku. I'm not killing that Yan Kutku. So that is one thing. The second thing are the small monsters, but I'm going to get to that later in the video. The grind was taking a while. I got myself some like arm things. I got myself some better pants. I was like, this is taking too slow. Surely I can do something else. And there was a new quest in 3-star called Liver of Legend, which unlocked the new map. It was the new desert map. And I was like, okay, I can certainly do this. I think it's just grabbing the livers from those fish things that go in the sand. I can do that. I've done it in all the other Monster Hunter games.
What? That's how you abandon? You die?
But before we talk about that, I do have to address today's sponsor, which is, again, Yian Racing with this amazing chair. Check it out. Look at that beautiful spin. Yian Racing was gracious enough to send us this chair. Send us, I mean me, because Raul doesn't get to sit in this chair. If you've never had what I like to call a gamer chair, this is a good brand to look at. They not only have chairs, they have desks. They not only have desks and chairs, but they have different versions of chairs. So you can go from different price ranges, whatever fits your budget. They're great because they offer back support, neck support. As you can see, they spin very well. They have adjustable arms. You can adjust everything. It comes in a box when you buy it. It gets shipped to you. There's some assembly required. I have to say, as someone who hates building IKEA stuff, building an Yian chair is super easy. Did it really quick. I did it with my son. We had a good time putting it together. It went up quite quick. And then you can do all the gaming you want on it. You can also recline on it. It really helps with your posture. It also reminds you, when you get an intense game, you tend to lean forward. And then after, you're wondering why your like shoulders are working. When you have a chair like this, it kind of reminds you, oh yes, I got to put my head back so that I am supported when I am gaming. So if you're interested in getting your own chair or your own desk, you can use the code HeyJ. It gives you 20% off everything in the store. Anything you want to shop, just head over to the link down in the description, down in the comment. You can go browse and see what's available out there for you. And be sure to use my code to get a cool discount. Now back to the hunts. So as I was saying, Liver of Legend, this thing turned out to be one of the biggest BS garbage quests ever. So of course you're in the desert. I don't know how to make screamer pods in this. You can't buy them. They give you only 2. It does knock out the fish out of the sand. But then I was wailing on them and they just wouldn't die. I don't know how much health these things have, but in all the recent Monster Hunter games, they're like 3-4 hits and they die. Here I'm wailing on them with a weapon that is pretty good, I think. And it's just, they're not dying. And then they go back in the sand. I can't pull them out because I have no screamer pods. I only have 2 cold drinks because that too I cannot buy and I don't know how to make them. And so I'm toasting under the sun because it's taking so long. I'm out of screamer pods. I'm out of ice of cool drinks. And these things are just swimming, hitting me. I can't hit them. They're swimming far away. They're coming back. They hit me. It's just the worst experience ever. By the end of it, I got 1 liver because I killed 1 of them. And then I died. I actually died to heat. And I was like, I'm just going to abandon this. So Liver of Legend, be warned. There's a nice price tag. I think it pays out like 600-700 zennies, but it is terrible of a quest. Now that I knew how to make a little bit more money, I went and splurged a bit and bought myself a nice barbecue spit so I could cook my meat. Honestly, I don't know how I was cooking my meat before. I think there's a tutorial level which lets you do it, but otherwise I was on my own. So now I've got my own barbecue spit so I can make my...
Oh my god.
I was, again, getting a little bit impatient when it came to the Yan Kutku. So once I got my defense up to about 14, I was like, let's just go see what he's like. I don't even know anything. I upgraded my sword 1 more time, so I'm doing... I got 20 more raw damage on it, so it's just under 300 like actual number, I think. And the Yan Kutku turns out was... It's not the Yan Kutku which is the problem. It's the rest of the game that's the problem. First of all, you fight him in the jungle. And the jungle, hides the monster, it hides the little monsters, and it hides you from the camera. So you're constantly trying to figure out who's where and what's what. So that's one. The next is there's Velociprays in one area, and if you're not fighting them in the Velocipray area, you're fighting them in the mugging area, where there's the Mealinxes, which are beating you and taking your stuff. So that's super annoying. And this takes me to the second complaint I have of modern Monster Hunter, is they have dialed back the threat level of the area. And I do, as much as I hate it and want to say it's bullshit, it does add a complexity and depth to the game. It really makes you feel like it's man or just human against nature here. It's not just one-on-one. It's you against the whole environment. Yes, you're trying to hunt this monster, but there's this whole environment that doesn't want you there, and they're going to attack you and do all sorts of nasty things. I'm fighting the monster. There's even a pig coming at me. Why is the pig coming at me? Because I stepped on a truffle or something. It's just so hard. And could you imagine if that kind of gameplay was inserted in the hard games like the Soulsborne, where they're really hard bosses, but imagine having a whole environment where the boss is there's just these other things that have nothing to do with the boss, which are attacking you because they hate you. And there's just so much like garbage coming at you. That's what my Yan Kutku fight was like. I was learning how to fight him, and I got into this really nice pattern of jump and roll. And it was a really cool tactic I learned with the Yan Kutku with the sword and shield. You can jump and immediately roll in any direction, which lets me do a hit and get out of the way. And then I would just spam that, but it was so hard to spam because there was so many other things coming at me. I was amazed. I managed to do this with no cards, and I got it on my first try, not being where I thought I wanted to be because I didn't have all the armor I did. Now, it wasn't a comfortable fight. I was super frustrated the whole time, because I was getting hit by everything, and sometimes it's the pig that gets you out of nowhere, a Velocipray that hits you, and sometimes they stun you just long enough so that the Yan Kutku goes crazy and charges you with a fire blast out of his hand, out of his mouth. I can't even speak anymore. And it was just so rough. And I was losing kind of my motivation, and some more veteran hunters in the chat were like, he's almost dead, his ears are down. So I ran around everywhere, and everyone's like, hurry, he's healing because he's sleeping somewhere. I couldn't find him. I'm running around the map because I didn't paintball him enough. And finally I found him, hit him a few times, and he died, and I'm just like,
yes! Oh, yes! Die!
Now, unfortunately, defeating him did not unlock 4-star quests, and I don't know what it is. I've been clearing out 3-star quests slowly. Another Yan Kutku quest has opened up in another region, so I suspect it's that. And there's also a double egg quest which opened up, and I did do the single egg quest last year, and it was a butt clencher and horrendous. It was a journey. So I honestly don't even know what the next monster is on the list. All I have is mystery ahead of me. I'm not sure the next time I'm going to play this game. It's the game I like to pull out for special occasions, but I have the egg quest to look forward to, and another rematch with Yan Kutku so that I can see what is beyond in 3-star. Now, I do know there's a Rathalos, because I've seen it in this game at one point. And I heard a villager talk about it was the vegetarian elder villager. He mentioned Plesioth is in this game. So I know that's on the radar, and I think this game has about 17 large monsters. There's still a lot to discover, a lot to experience, a lot of grinding to be done. But really, if you've played this game, let me know if you agree. 2 things that have kind of been watered out of Monster Hunter in my experience are the leisure grind. I'm going to call it the leisure grind because it's an enjoyable grind with nature. And the second is the hostility of the environment, I think has been toned down maybe too much. So let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next stream or the next journal. And until next time, keep it classy.